أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء المرسلين محمد وأهل بيت الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين سيما الإمام المنتظر الحجة الثاني عشر روحي وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدمه الفداء أما بعد فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه المجيد الفرقان الحميد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربي زدني علما صدق الله العلي العظيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, I hope everyone is well. Can everyone hear me loud and clearly?
Yes, Assalamu alaikum.
Brilliant. Right,
Yes.
okay. Without wasting any time, we will be starting the lesson, and I'm going to teach it slightly different from the normal way I teach. And I'm going to ask, right, can I ask Sister Samira to come?
Yes, Assalamu alaikum.
Samira, I would like you to now read the point to remember. So remember, there's a few things which we will cover in this points to remember. So one is that I'll mention this outside the lesson before we start the points to remember. Now, you need to remember that there are two types of sentences in the Arabic language. So remember, we did in book 1, Al-Kitabu Jamilun. The book is beautiful.
Yeah.
And then we did also in lesson 4, we did Kharaja Zaydun min al-madrasati. Kharaja Zaydun or Kharaja Muhammadun min al-madrasati. What was the translation, Sister Samira?
Exited, right? So the Muhammad exited the madrasa.
Yeah, Muhammad exited from the madrasa, correct?
From the madrasa, yes.
So you will see that Kharaja Muhammadun min al-madrasati. Now, this is not a nominal sentence, but it is a verbal sentence because it starts with a verb. Kharaja Muhammadun min al-madrasati. Now, in this sentence, when a verb starts a sentence, there are a few components or few parts of a verbal sentence. The first part of a verbal sentence is that you have a verb, and every verb requires a doer. A verb cannot be undertaken or be performed or executed without a doer. So the verb kharaja is he exited. So as I mentioned before, that every verb has a doer. So every verb has a prefix, which is an attached pronoun or a hidden pronoun within a verb, which demonstrates or illustrates who's performing the action. And sometimes it's a visible or a apparent noun which comes after the verb. And when it comes after the verb, for example, kharaja Muhammadun, you won't say he exited, but he, which is within the verb, will be replaced with Muhammad, and that will be the doer of the action. So every verb requires a doer of an action. So kharaja Muhammadun min al-madrasati, we will translate Muhammad exited from the classroom. So kharaja is the verb, Muhammad is the doer, min al-madrasati, min is what, Sister Samira?
From.
And al-madrasati?
The school.
So why is it al-madrasati with a kasra?
So because it's Muhammadun, that's why it's madrasati.
No, min al-madrasati. Min, what is min?
Oh, min is
Preposition.
Preposition, right? Sorry.
Yeah, and what does a preposition do to a noun? It changes its harakat from al-madrasati to min al-madrasati. So the min is a preposition which changes the harakat of the noun which comes after it gives it a kasra. Okay? Now, so this type of verb, kharaja Muhammadun min al-madrasati, so this is a verbal sentence. It has a verb, a doer, and a preposition. This is one type of verb. Now, in the Arabic language, there is another type of verb, like the English language. Sometimes you require a object for the verb. For example, give me an example, Sister Samira. A verb which requires an object for it. Give me an example if you, in English. I don't expect you to give me an example in Arabic, but in English, for example, give me an example. Or if you could think one. If you can't, that's not an issue.
A verb that requires
an object. For example, I'll give you an example, don't worry. Now, if I said Akala Muhammadun.
Oh, so right. So he is knowledgeable or whatever, right?
No. Akala Muhammadun. Muhammad ate.
Oh, right. He
Yeah,
ate.
Akala, it's alif with a hamza on top. Akala, kaf, lam, Muhammad. Akala Muhammadun. Muhammad ate. Now the question arises, what did Muhammad eat?
Right.
So it requires an object. So you can say Akala Muhammadun. How do you say apple in Arabic?
Tifalun.
Tufahatun.
Tufahatun. Yes.
Tufahatun. So whenever, so Muhammadun gets a dhamma tanween. So do you want me to send this example in the group? Yes or no? The Arabic.
Yes.
So Akala. Just 1 second. So Akala Muhammadun. So Muhammadun is the doer. Just 1 second. Muhammad is a doer. Tufahatan. Tufahatan. A So has everyone got the example? Akala Muhammadun. Muhammad is the doer. Tufahatan, a apple. Now, what do you say, Sister Samira, here on the word tufahatun? What is the harakat on tufaha, which I've put?
So tufahatun has a double dhamma, right?
Tufahatun has double dhamma, but in this sentence, Akala Muhammadun tufahatan.
So tufahatan has a double fatha.
Correct. Now this is the point.
And Muhammadun has a double dhamma.
Correct. Now this is the point I'm teaching about this lesson, lesson 1, book 2, is that every doer of a verb, you can write this down as a generic or a universal ruling. Every doer in the Arabic language will be in the nominative case. Yeah, so nominative case, I'll write nominative as well. Nominative. And in Arabic, nominative is marfu'un. Nominative is marfu'un. So meaning that it would either get a dhamma or a dhamma tanween. Dhamma or a dhamma tanween. So in this example, akala Muhammadun at-tufahatan. So can you see the word Muhammadun? What harakat does Muhammadun have?
The double dhamma.
Yes. So this is the doer of the action. So every doer of the action, whenever you recite the Quran, find a verb, and after the verb, if there's a noun which comes, it should be with a dhamma or a dhamma tanween, which it highlights this is the doer of the action. Is that clear?
Yes.
Number 1. Number 2. All objects of a noun. All objects of a noun. Sorry, all objects. My mistake, not a noun. All objects of a verb, not a noun. All objects of a verb, all objects of a verb will be in the accusative case. And it says on the screen as well, mansoob. The Arabic word here, mansoob. Meaning, it will receive either one fatah or fatah tanween. Fatatain. So in the example, akala Muhammadun tufahatan. What's happening to tufahatan, Sister Samira?
So tufahatan gets a double tanween.
Exactly. So, and why is it tufahatan? Why can I not say tufahatun?
Because there is Muhammadun.
And what's Muhammad in the sentence? What position does he have?
He's a doer.
And tufahatan is what?
It's the object.
Excellent. Is that clear now?
Yes.
So you have a verb, a doer, and an object.
Muhammad.
Akala Muhammadun tufahatan. Right.
Okay.
Is there anyone from the other groups who have joined this group? Because I've seen Sister Durdana. I'm just sending this across to you, this example, so you've got this down as well. Okay, anyone else from any other groups, from the UK group? If anyone's from group G6, then that's fine. If there's anyone from any other groups, like group 7 or something, let me know, and then I'll send you the details as well. Right. Now, over here now, I will explain, and then Sister Samira, okay, Sister Samira, go ahead, actually read now, because has everyone understood what I've said so far? So every doer of a verb, it's either getting a dhamma or a dhamma tanween. So like akala Muhammadun, Muhammadun has a dhamma tanween. That dhamma tanween illustrates or demonstrates that Muhammad is the one who did the action of eating, or ate, is past tense, ate. And tufahatan is the object which he ate. That's the fatah tanween itself. So that's the reason why when you change the fatah, kasra, and the harakat, you actually change the meaning of the whole sentence itself.
Right. This is a revision lesson. It contains only 2 new words, uhibbu and fihi or fiha. Fihi means in it. Example, man fil bayti, who is in the house. Fihi abi wa ummi, there are my father and mother in it. Number 2, the feminine is fiha. Example, man fil ghurfati, who is in the room. Fiha akhi, there is my brother in it.
Just one question now. I'm going to ask this question to Sister Matsuma Darani. Sister Matsuma. Sister Matsuma Darani, are you there? Okay. If she's not there, I'm going to ask this question to Sister Aisha Afridi. Sister Afridi. Sister Afridi, can you hear me?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Sorry, sir. I just got home, so I think I'll be able to participate in 5 minutes.
Okay, that's fine, not an issue. Sister
Okay, sorry
Shahla,
about this.
no problem. Sister Shahla Anjum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Sister Shahla. Now, I have a question for you from these 2 points we have remembered. Why are we using in one sentence, man fil bayti, fihi abi wa ummi? That's one question. And the other question is, man fil ghurfati, who is in the room, and there we are using fiha. Why is there a change of pronouns from fihi and fiha? We have done this in book 1, lesson 4, when we spoke about nouns, or pronouns. Pronouns are either huwa and hiya. And then I mentioned something else with regards to nouns. Nouns, that some nouns are X and Y. Do you remember?
Yes, it's because it's feminine. That's why we use fiha with ghurfati,
Yep.
and with baiti we use fihi.
Excellent, brilliant. That is right. Because al-bayt, because it's referring man fil bayti, who is in the house. The word bayt is masculine, so use fihi, and al-ghurfati is feminine, so we use fiha. So in the Arabic language, they don't have the word it. Brilliant. Ahsanti. Sister Samira, continue. Number 3.
Number 3, uhibbu means I love or I like. Example, uhibbu abi wa ummi wa akhi wa ukhti. I love my mother, my father, my brother, and my sister.
Excellent. Now I'm gonna Jazakallah. I'm gonna ask someone. Who shall I ask to read next? Sister Saida Mukhi, is your mic working fine?
Yes, Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Go ahead, Bismillah. I want you, because Sister Samira has done the example, now I want you to read and explain to the class just what I've explained about here, the object of a verb. Go ahead.
Yes, the object of a verb is in the.
My mistake. Let me start from uhibbu.
Okay, uhibbu means I love, I like. Example, uhibbu abi wa uhibbu ummi wa uhibbu akhi. I love my father, my mother, my brother, and my sister. The object of a verb is in accusative case. Mansub takes ie, takes an a ending, but it does not appear in the noun which has possessive pronoun of the first person singular attached to it. Here are some examples of the object without the possessive pronouns of the first person.
Let me explain. The possessive pronoun of the first person. Possessive pronoun, it means the ya, like kitabi, alami. So here, look at this example. Uhibbu. Sister Saida, who is doing the action of uhibbu?
I am doing the action because I love Allah.
Exactly. So here, uhibbu, abi. Who is abi? Whose father is abi?
Is the object.
It's the correct. It's the object, but whose father is he? Is he your father, my father, or his father, or whose father is he? Abi, or him, or abi?
My father.
Exactly. So this is what it says. It says that, but ending, but it does not appear in a noun which has a possessive pronoun of the first person singular attached to it. So abi, ummi, it's my father and my mother. So because of this, the fatha tanween or the fatha is not visible, it's hidden. That's what it's trying to say.
Yes.
So when it's coming with a possessive pronoun of I, my father, my mother, the fatha or the fatha tanween is not visible. But apart from that, if it's a noun, so example, uhibbullaha, I love who? I love uhibbullaha. Who do you love?
Allah.
Allah.
So Allah is getting, because Allah is a definite noun with alif lam, so it has a fatha. So it's because it's definite. As you know in the Arabic language, when there's a noun which has alif lam, it does not appear with a fatha, dhamma, or any tanweens. It only appears with one fatha, one dhamma, one kasra. So uhibbullah, I love Allah. Allah is what in this sentence?
Allah is object.
Excellent, brilliant. Next example.
Yes. The next example.
Yeah.
Rasul, uhibbu Rasulillah.
Uhibbu Rasulullah. No, Uhibbu Rasulullah.
Uhibbu Rasulillah. I love the Prophet.
No. Let's do the second example. Uhibbu Rasulullah.
Uhibbu Rasulillah.
No. There's two examples. Uhibbu, second one. Uhibbu Rasulullah. I love the messenger.
Yes. Uhibbu Rasulillah. I love the messenger.
So can you see? Ar-Rasulah has a fatha.
Yes.
And the final example, Uhibbu Rasulallahi. Uhibbu, repeat.
Uhibbu Rasulallahi.
Yep. I love
the messenger of Allah.
So the messenger of Allah, imagine Uhibbu wasn't there. If I said Rasulullahi, Rasulullahi. What type of sentence construction is this? Rasulullahi. What type of composition is
It's
this?
Jumma failure.
No,
Jumlatul failure.
no,
No, it is
Rasulullahi. If it's Rasulullahi, what does Rasulullahi translate?
Rasul of Allah. That's
Messenger.
mudaf mudaf alayh.
Thank you ever so much. Correct. And how do you know is mudaf ilay?
Because it's saying Rasul of Allah. Anytime there is of book of John or Prophet of Rasulullah, that's mudaf alayhi. So
Excellent. Very good. Very good. So here, Rasul, and also Allah has a kasra when it's mudaf ilay, and also the mudaf will never come with alif lam, and it neither will come with a tanween. So here, so remember, whenever mudaf ilay comes as an object of a verb, what position Rasul has in relation to Allah? In relation to Allah, what position does Rasul have? Rasulullahi.
Rasul majru.
Mudaf.
Oh, mudaf.
Yeah, Allah is mudaf ilayh, this is mudaf. Now remember this point, whenever a noun is mudaf ilayh, it's always the mudaf. It's always the mudaf which takes the harakat which it deserves wherever it's situated in. Does it make sense? So here, originally it was Rasulullahi. Originally it was
Rasulullahi.
Rasulullah with a dhamma.
Rasulullahi.
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 Yeah. So because uhibbu is coming, and what does uhibbu mean? I
Love.
Who do you love? The Messenger of Allah.
Rasul of Allah.
So that's the reason why the dhamma changes to a fatha, because it is the what relationship do Rasulullah has with uhibbu?
Is it object?
Correct. So Sister Saida, you've improved a lot since last class.
Yes, I studied in the vacation.
I could tell. So uhibbu Rasulullah, I love the Messenger of Allah. So it's the object of uhibbu. Any questions from anyone so far? Does anyone have any questions? Okay, that's good news. I'm going to ask next on the mic. I'm going to ask, who shall I ask? I'm going to ask the question to Sister Parveen. Sister Parveen. Alaikum salam. Now over here, Sister Parveen, it says uhibbu al-lughat al-arabiyyata. Now I love the Arabic language. Now the question I want to ask you, al-lughat al-arabiyyata, why does it have a fatha? Al-lughata. I love the Arabic language. So
because
why?
it is in accusative case, Mansur.
Correct.
So I love Arabic language. So Lughat is the language.
Yep.
So because it is in accusative case.
Correct.
So that's why it has fatha on it.
Correct. And why does al-arabiyyata has also a fatha as well?
Because it is adjective.
Brilliant.
So it has to have the same haraka like the
Previous word.
So
Excellent.
lugatal arbiyata.
Excellent.
So they both have the same haraka and the same everything.
Excellent.
Matches.
Brilliant. That's really good. Now I want you to continue and finish off the remaining four explanations. Here we can learn tuhibbu.
Right. Here we can learn tuhibbu, you love, masculine singular. Do you love Allah? Atuhibbullah? Do you love Allah?
So who is
Do you love your land?
No, 1 second. Now a question for you. Atuhibbullah. So who is doing the action of love? Atuhibbullah. Who is loving Allah?
The
Who is it?
the single masculine.
Correct. You.
It's like
Anta.
he,
Anta.
like
It's
you, Anta.
Yeah.
Anta, sorry,
Yes.
Anta.
So Anta.
I was trying to find what
Yeah.
it is. Anta,
So Anta is you. Is the
right?
the person you're talking to? He is loving. And what is the object he is loving?
It's cutting.
Allah. Not
The
cutting.
sound
Allah.
is cutting.
He's loving Allah.
We can. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Mm.
Sister,
The sound problem.
Sister Parveen, can you hear me? Sister Parveen, can you hear me now?
Connection problem.
Okay.
Atuhibbullahu.
Atuhibbullaha. Sister Parveen, can you hear me clearly? Rest of the class, can you hear me clearly?
Okay, now I can hear you.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we
It's
can hear
good.
you.
Yes.
Okay, so Atuhibbullaha. So Allah is the object of Anta. You are loving. So that's the reason why it's in the mansub or the accusative case. Correct?
Right.
Next one. Atuhibbu.
Next. Atuhibbul lugataka. Do you love your language? Lugataka.
Why is it
This is
lugataka?
also like anta. Lugataka. Lugataka is also like you, male.
Correct.
Single male. You,
Correct.
like anta. Atuhibbul lugataka. Do you love your language?
Correct.
Whom do you love? Man tuhibbu. Who do you love? So, man tuhibbu. So now there is no like a known object. So
No, no. There is an object. So man is the object now. You love who?
oh,
So in this
so man
scenario,
is object now.
yeah, man is the
Man
object.
tuhibbu.
Yeah, tuhibbu.
So whom do you love?
Yeah.
Okay. So
So you
whom
love
do you
who?
love?
Yeah. Who do you love? Man is coming in the beginning of the sentence now. Okay.
I see. So then is maza tuhibbu. So maza is the object.
Yes. Madha. Yeah. Tuhibbu ma. Yeah. So madha tuhibbu. What do you like?
What do you like?
Okay.
What
Brilliant.
do you like? Maza tuhibbu.
Thank you ever so much for that. Now I'm going to go through the
Thank
lesson.
you.
I'm going to ask, and I'm confident in. Who shall I ask?
I can read that.
Okay, I will ask you to read the first paragraph then.
Okay. Haza baiti. This is my house. Baiti amam al masjidi. My house is in front of the mosque. Baiti jamilun. My house is beautiful. Fihi hadikatun saghiratun. In it is small garden. Hazihi ghurfati. This is my room. Fiha nafizatun kabiratun. It has a big window. Wa mirwahatun jamilatun. And the fan is beautiful.
No, a beautiful fan.
And a beautiful fan. Haza sariri. This is my bed. Wa haza kursiyi. And this is my chair. Wa haza maktabi. And this is my desk. Saati wa kalmi wa kitabi alal maktabi. My watch, my pen, and my book is on the desk. Wa hakibati tahtal maktabi, and my bag is under the
Desk.
desk. Nafizatu ghurfati maftuhatun.
Excellent.
The nafizatu
Window.
window.
Yeah.
The room's window is open.
My room's window is open. Brilliant. Thank you. Now I want to explain a
My
few
room
things.
window is open.
Now over here now,
Yes.
I'm going to
Yes.
explain this for everyone now. I'm going to explain and dissect this paragraph now. So, Hada Baiti. So, in lesson 1, you learned Hada Kitabun. This is a book. Now, over here now, Hada Baiti. Hada is Mubtada, the subject. Baiti is Mudaf and Mudaf Ilay. So, here Mudaf Ilay is coming as the khabar for Hada. This is my house. Now, in the next example,
I see.
Baiti Amam al Masjidi. My house is in front of the masjid.
Mosque.
Now, over here, so Baiti, which is Mudaf Ilay, is coming as the subject. Amam al Masjidi. Amam is an adverb. Amam is an adverb which indicates one place and time. Al Masjidi is Mudaf Ilay. So Mudaf and Mudaf Ilay is coming as the predicate, as the khabar. So my house, as you know, whenever we have subject and predicate, you always have is between the two. So my house is in front of the masjid. Then we have Bayti Jamilun. My house is beautiful. Now, Fihi, as we said before, is referring back to the house. Because it's masculine. Fihi hadiqatun saghiratun. The adjective saghiratun is following hadiqatun because it's an adjective. Adjective follows in i'rab, gender, and in number. So that's the reason they follow each other. Hadihi ghurfati. The word hada. So here we use hada baiti because hada. So baitun is masculine, so use hada. Now the word ghurfatun is feminine, so hada becomes hadihi. So always hada or hadihi follows the noun which it comes after it. And then fiha is referring back to the room itself, which is feminine. Nafidatun kabiratun, a big window. Mirwahatun jamilatun. Hada sariri, this is my bed. Wahada kursiyi, and this is my chair. Wahada maktabi, and this is my desk. Sa'ati wa kalami wa kitabi ala al-maktabi. So this is straightforward. My watch, my pen, my book is on the desk. Wa hakibati tahta al-maktabi. So here again, hakibati is mudaf ilay, subject. Tahta al-maktabi, it's an adverb, mudaf ilay, khabar. Now the word, so remember this is something really new for everyone, for you. So the word ghurfati by itself is mudaf ilay. So the word ghurfati is mudaf ilay, my room. Now the word here nafidatu, can you see this dhamma here? It's not nafidatun, it's nafidatu.
Nafizatu, right.
So here it's double mudaf ilay. So the word ghurfati is mudaf ilay. Nafidatu is mudaf, and ghurfati together is mudaf ilay for nafidatu. So there's double mudaf ilay. So window of my room.
Nafizatu ghurfati.
Window of my room, maftuhatun. So because nafidatu, and remember this point, whenever mudaf and mudaf ilay comes as a subject, always the first noun of the mudaf governs whether the khabar will come masculine or feminine. So why is it maftuhatun? Because of nafizatu. Nafizatu. It is ending with a time marbuta, and that's the reason it's maftuhatun. I'm going to ask a question to is there Sister Parveen Zahra as well here today? Parveen Zahra, is she here? Okay, she's not here. Sister Latifa, assalamu alaikum. You got your hand up. Sister Latifa, you have a hand up. Do you have a question to ask? Okay. I'm going to ask next question to Sister Narjis. Sister Narjis Darsi.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Alaikum salam. Sister Narjis Darsi. If I put the word here,
Takiretu. Oh no. نافذة الغرفة مفتوحة because of the belonging, that's why.
Because of nafida, because nafida is our feminine, that's why it's maftuhatun. If I changed, instead of window of my room, if I said babu ghurfati, if I said babu ghurfati, window of my room is open, what would you say? Would it be maftuhun or would it be maftuhatun?
I'm not sure, honestly.
مفتوح.
نافذة مفتوح.
Correct. Why? Because always whenever mudaf and mudaf ilay comes as the mubtada, as the subject, the mudaf will govern whether the khabar will come feminine or masculine. So because nafida is feminine, it's maftuhatun. So if it was masculine, like babu ghurfati, bab is masculine, so babu ghurfati, it will be maftuhun.
مفتوح masculine.
Yes,
Okay, I get you.
that's brilliant.
You
That's,
want me to read that?
I want you to read the next paragraph. هذه غرفة أخي.
هذه غرفة أخي وتلك غرفة أختي.
أختي. Yep, translate.
This room is of my brother.
Yep, this is my brother's room.
That room is
No.
for my sister.
This is my brother's room. هذه غرفة أخي. This is my brother's room.
Okay, and that room is of my sister.
Correct.
غرفة أختي.
أخي.
Sorry. غرفة أخي كبيرة وغرفة أخي صغيرة.
No, غرفة أختي.
Okay. غرفة أخي كبيرة وغرفة أختي صغيرة. That means, my brother's room is big. Am I right?
Yes.
أخي. Okay. And my sister's room is small.
So can you see here now? In both of these scenarios, it's coming kabiratun and saghiratun because of ghurfatun itself.
Okay, because ghurfati is feminine.
Yeah.
غرفة أخي. Sorry.
Yep. غرفة أخي.
To enlarge it, yeah. Okay. Where was I?
This one here. غرفة أخي.
Okay. غرفة أخي أمام غرفتي وغرفة أختي أمام مطبخي. I know that's kitchen,
Yep.
Okay, غرفتي. My brother's room is in front of Amama.
Yep.
In front of my
in front of my room.
غرفتي, and my sister's room is in front of the kitchen.
Excellent.
Thank
you. Jazakallah, sister. Let me get someone else for the last one. Now, next one, I want to bring Sister Farida. Sister Farida, iPad.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum assalam. Can you read from Li Akhun Wahidun?
Okay. Li Akhun Wahidun Ismuhu Usamatun.
Yep. Translate.
My brother's
name. Li. I have
one brother, and his name is Usamatun.
Correct.
Usama. Wali Ukhatun Wahidatun Ismuha Suad. In my sister's.
No. Wali and I have. Li means I have.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I have one sister, and her name is Suad.
Correct.
Abi Ummi fi tilka gurfatil kabirati. My mother and my father
are.
that room is that room which
No, no.
their room is big, something.
Yeah, that's right. So Abi wa Ummi, my mother and my father are in that big room.
Big room, yeah.
Tilkal ghurfa tilka, in that big room.
Yeah, tilka is far, yeah.
No, far, yeah, tilka that.
Yeah.
Continue.
Ana uhibbu abi wa ummi. I love my father and my mother. Wa 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 hibbu aki wa, and I love my brother and my sister.
Correct. Thank you. Sister Kauthar Naqvi. Can you do the first paragraph now?
Sure. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Baiti. House. Haza Baiti. Baiti Imam al Masjidi. This is house. And this is house. And Baiti Imam al Masjidi. House in
Baiti
front
is
of the
my
masjid.
house.
Yeah, Hada Baiti, my house.
Sorry. Haza Baiti. This is my house. Baiti Imam al Masjidi. Masjidi. My house is in front of the masjid. Baiti Jamilun. My house is beautiful. Fihi hadikatun sagiratun. It has beauty. It has small garden. Hazihi ghurfati. This is my room. Fiha nafizatun. Nafizatun kabiratun. Wa mirwahatun jamilatun. It has big window and beautiful fan. Haza sariri wa haza kursi.
Kursiyi.
Wa haza kursiyi wa haza maktabi. This is bed and this is kursi.
This is
chair.
no, this is my bed and this is my chair.
Sorry. This is my bed and this is my chair and this is my desk. Saati wa kalmi wa kitabi alal maktabi. My watch and my pen and my book on the table, on the desk. Wa hakibati tahtal maktabi. And my bed under the table, under the desk. Nafizatu ghurfati maftuhatun. Nafizatu ghurfati.
Window of my room.
My room's windows open.
Yep.
Ghurfati, my room. And next page, next paragraph.
No, I'll get someone else. Thank you for that. Next person I'm going to ask is, give me 1 second. Sister Afridi, can you do the next paragraph?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum.
Hazihi ghurfatu Aki. My brother, this is my brother's room. Watilka ghurfatu ukhti. And that is my sister's room. Ghurfatu Aki kabiratun wa ghurfatu ukhti sagiratun. My brother's room is big and my sister's room is small. Ghurfatu Aki amama ghurfati wa ghurfatu ukhti amamal matbaqi. My brother's room is in front of my room and my sister's room is in front of the kitchen.
Excellent, thank you. Now, next person will be the last person. Who's the 78? Who is 786 iPad? 786 iPad. 786 iPad. Who is he? Or who are you? Okay, I was going to bring you on the mic, so that's the reason why I was looking. That's fine.
It's
Then
me.
So, Sister Durdana, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Bismillah, Durdana. Li akhun.
لي أخ واحد اسمه أسامة ولي oh I have one brother and his name is Usama. ولي أخت واحدة اسمها سعادة, and I have one sister and her name is Suad. أبي وأمي في تلك الغرفة الكبيرة. My father and my mother is in that room, in that big room. أنا أحب أبي وأمي, and I love my father and my mother. وأحبه أخي وأختي, and I love my brother and
وأحب أخي.
وأحب أخي وأختي. I love my brother and my sister.
Excellent. Right. The one or two people who didn't get a chance, I'll give them a chance next week. So try to do the exercises. And inshallah, once next week, I'll do the exercises. And there's one more point I will highlight next week. And I'll send you the verb conjugation of uhibbu. What's the past tense and the present tense and the imperatives in the group. And I want you to practice that. And inshallah, once we've done that next week in class, then I'll move on to next lesson, inshallah. Any questions from anyone so far? Was it not? I hope it wasn't that difficult for everyone, because I've done a lot of other practice with you to make this lesson easy for you. So it'll be an easy transition from book 1 to book 2.
We'll get there, inshallah.
Well, you should be here already, inshallah. So, inshallah.
I have just one question.
I can understand, but I just, I'm a little slow.
Yeah.
But I can understand.
Reading is easy, but grammar is a little difficult.
Yeah, it happens. It's going to take a few lessons to get familiar with book 2. Yes, Sister Samira.
So the first paragraph, the last sentence, nafidatu ghurfati
Maftuhatun. Correct.
So because the nafidatu has a dhamma, that's why the maftuhatun has a.
Because that's nafid. The word nafida is feminine, and because it's feminine, that's the reason it's maftuhatun with a ta marbuta. So always the subject and the predicate follow each other in gender and number. That's a ruling. Always the subject follows the predicate in number and gender. That's the ruling.
Okay, so even though ghurfatu, I mean, room is masculine, even then, but because it is.
Ghurfatun is feminine. Nafida. So if it's ghurfatu, ghurfatun is feminine. That plays no role. It's always the mudaf which plays the role.
So the mudaf here is nafidatu.
Correct.
And the mudaf ilay is ghurfati.
Correct.
Okay, but it will follow the mudaf, the verb.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
This is ruling. So inshallah, we'll practice more on these different concepts, inshallah, in the next coming lessons as well.
Thank you.
Any other questions from anyone?
I have a question. Yeah. In the first paragraph, it says that fihi hadikhatun or fiha nafizatun. So what should be the translation? It has or in it?
Or it has or in it as well, but it has is better. In it is correct as well, but it has is better to translate it that way as well.
Okay,
and the other question is that do you prefer Wednesday? Do you prefer the original Wednesday, or would you prefer Saturday evenings, 6 p.m. on Saturdays? What's the best solution? What's better?
Wednesdays are better, I think, because weekend is
busy. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine.
Right.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, back to back is good, but it's okay if you can do Saturday and you can do Wednesday because of your schedule.
No, Wednesday's fine.
Saturday is good too.
Wednesday, I'm happy with it. I just because last week I had another class, I had 2 double classes with another teacher as well, so that's the reason why I couldn't do it. Inshallah, next week will be fine. Inshallah, okay. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وأجل فرجهم. اللهم كل وليك الحجة من الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك أو تمتع فيها طويلا واجعل من أنصاره وشيتك وجندك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على